to see you today.
So nice to see you.
Yes.
I never get to see you except lately all the time, which has been
True.
nice.
I've been gone a lot. I've been gone a lot.
Making up for last time we've been.
Yes, yes.
Apparently I'm Yoda.
I'm
You're
wearing green. Yeah. There you go. So first, I want to ask you a very important question.
Okay.
Please tell me and explain, where did your obsession with magic?
Magic. My
And
obsession.
I would say obsession.
Strong word.
Because in high school you were never
No,
a part of that, and
I
even
wasn't.
after.
Yeah, I was like more of a. We both had like this scenario where, um, we both have the kind of similar situation where in high school we were just like preppy wannabes because that's what we were surrounded by and that's what our like parents wanted us to be like. And then once we kind of got out on our own, we were like, oh, I'm not about that life.
Fuck this.
Fuck this. But specifically the like witchcraft and magic and whatnot came about like 3 or 4 years ago because I met some friends that were like into that type of thing, and also
Is this after or before you met Mark?
this is after I met Mark. We've been together for 10 years
No,
now.
I know.
Basically everything is
I know.
post Mark.
Well, if it's okay. Fair.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't really get into anything before Mark. Oh, this is something that I wanted to talk about though, which maybe we'll get to later. But right before I met Mark was the first time that I like accidentally did acid.
Oh shit.
And I feel like that like changed my brain chemistry and trajectory.
Interesting.
And I was gonna ask you if you feel like that's kind of when you like shifted was due to hallucinogenics, or were you already?
No, I was already kind of. Oh, it's just a little like sideways. There. I don't know.
It's raining really hard.
I know. Well, the dogs are undercover, so it's okay. I wouldn't. For me, it wasn't that moment in particular.
Right.
It's just kind of like, I think the friends that I was with and the choices that I just made have made more.
I just felt like,
me, but I've heard it happening to people.
Yeah, for me it was like I felt like, I just thought about a lot of stuff, like way too much stuff, and kind of like opened up a part of my brain that wasn't really awake at that point in time.
And that's the story of when you were at the concert, right?
Yeah, I was at a Borgore concert.
Oh God.
And
back to 2005.
And it was actually, well, maybe it was like 2010, maybe. But yeah, and my friend was like, I'm gonna go get a tamale, and then came back with these like sweet tarts.
Oh God.
And I was like, what's this? And she was like, just eat it.
20-year-old Mo had no idea.
Yeah, until I went to take my makeup off and my whole face was coming off.
I thought it was the time when you said you were at a concert and some person was rubbing your back.
No, that's Mark's story.
Oh,
that happened to Mark.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that happened to you.
No,
okay.
that happened to Mark. Yeah, a crazy hippie lady like dosed him. She was like, "You're gonna have such a great time."
Weird.
And he was at it was like a Grateful Dead cover band.
Oh my God.
Which he hates, Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he was like kind of feeling the music.
Yeah, and that's how he knew.
He was like, oh shit. Because he was supposed to be the DD or whatever.
Oh no, that's awful.
But yeah, that's Mark's story. My story is less exciting.
Fair.
I did it to myself. Don't take drugs from strangers.
Yes.
But as far as the magic stuff goes, I didn't really get into that until honestly like after our wedding, or like the summer before we got married, pretty much. And that's when I met my friend Nicole, the one that I went and visited in Austin. And she's like super witchy, psychic, talks to dead people, like all kinds of cool stuff.
Like as a job? Is her profession, or is
no,
she...
professionally she's going to be a realtor, but she was trying to like do like readings and stuff for people professionally, but it's a lot harder than it sounds. Like you have to be really good at like protecting your own energy and stuff. So she's doing more training to like learn, you know, her boundaries and like how to differentiate herself from like the people that she's doing readings for, because before she would get like way too affected by it and like it would just fuck her up.
So like her reading other people would fuck her own energy.
Yeah. my poor dogs are outside. Sue's got like barf on his chin.
Gross. Yeah, I see that.
But what happened was, so like I was like interested in it and I was like, you know, learning stuff from her, and then I started just like, you know, reading stuff online. I joined a Facebook group that was called, it's still out there. I don't really see posts from them anymore, but it's called the Sisters Enchanted, and they're like two sisters out in the East Coast somewhere, and they teach like witchy shit like tarot and astrology and you know, like how to work with the energies of the season, and like they talk about all the different like witchy holidays.
So you
like,
just found them on Facebook and basically started following them, started listening to them.
Yeah. And so like after the wedding and when I stopped drinking, I was like, I want to like focus my energy on something. Like I want to, you know, learn something or study something so that I can, you know, get my mind off of things. And so that's, I took, I think it was like October 2017, I took a tarot class online through them and was like learning about how to read tarot, and then I took like an astrology class and just kind of started like reading and learning and getting more and more into it.
Is there certain areas that you're more interested in compared to others, and maybe something that you are more interested in learning more about?
Yeah. So I feel like out of everything, astrology is like my favorite, and I even wanted to go to, there is in Portland, it's literally like 41st and like Broadway, there's an astrology school. And I took, they had like a 6-week open enrollment kind of just like single one-off class. And I took that and it was really cool. But they offer like full, you know, schooling for like how to learn, you know, how to like read people's charts, or how to read like, you know, horoscopes and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to do that, and before I found permanent makeup, I was like, oh, I just want to be an astrologer. But I was also kind of thinking like, well, I don't know how realistic and lucrative of a job that would be. But you know, like I've always liked writing and went to school originally for journalism, so I was like, you know, I could write an astrology like blog or write horoscopes for, you know, magazines or newspapers or something like that. Like a lot of the astrologers I follow, that they'll have their horoscopes like in the monthly Cosmopolitan magazine or People magazine or whatever.
Wherever they can post their stuff.
And especially like right now, I feel like it's getting more and more popular. So, you know, I could have probably figured it out, but
you still probably could.
Yeah. I've done like readings and stuff for friends, and I have readings like available on my BYOmagic website for tarot or astrology that I do in like, you know, here and there, small quantities. I did like a full year ahead reading for my friend Sterling, and she was like, "That's the best astrology reading I've ever had."
That's cool.
Yeah.
And when you do one of those readings, how does it work?
So basically, you kind of like take your birth chart and like where all your planets are, and then you compare that to like the year ahead and what um, signs the current planets are moving through and what like transits they make. That's the other thing about astrology that I was like, ugh, because it's a lot of freaking math. It's like geometry, like
alignment.
Yeah, like degrees and angles and like there's like sextiles and squares and trines and all of this, and I'm like, I was never good at math. I don't know if I can really figure this out. And there are like software systems that you can use. So I mean, like if I invested in a software system that would do the math for me, I could probably do it. But doing it by hand is hard, and that's why I like only do a few, because I have to like look up like, okay, you know, Jupiter is moving through this sign at these degrees. Like first thing I check is like, okay, does this person have anything like in that exact area, you know, for like a conjunction? And then I'm like, okay, do they have anything opposite of that for an opposition? But then I have to go see like, well, what about, you know, like a trine or a sextile? And it's like, have to do that for like every single planet, every single like.
And does everyone have 9 planets?
So your birth chart has a lot of stuff in it. So essentially, yes, it's the 9 planets: your Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and Earth? Venus, Neptune, Pluto. Earth is like
you living
the
here,
one that
so
you're
you
on.
Don't,
Yeah,
you don't count that one.
But what it is it's like a snapshot of the sky.
Oh, it's
where
everything
all the
in relation
were,
to you,
basically. In relation to you, and that's why we need to know like where you were born, the exact time you were born, because it's literally like a snapshot of the sky the like second you pop out of
interesting.
birth.
And does that stay the same forever?
Yeah, because it's from your time of birth. Now you can do different like you can see, you know, you can compare it to like at different ages, and at some people, well, so there are certain transits that happen to all of us. Like one main one that a lot of people talk about is the Saturn return, and that's because it takes Saturn like 29 and a half years to come full circle. So when it comes back to the exact point that it was when you were born is when you have your Saturn return, which is around like 29 to 30, which is like kind of what I got started, you know, learning astrology about, because I at the time was like 27. I was like, oh shit, this shit's right around the corner. Like I should probably figure it out. Yeah. And people actually have like 2 or 3 Saturn returns depending on how long they live. The second one is generally like a midlife crisis type situation, because it's around like 60. And some other transits have been called like midlife crisis transits as well. But yeah, a lot of stuff gets stirred up at different points in people's lives. But then some people like will have, you know, I've had Pluto conjunct basically all of my planets, because I have 5 planets in Capricorn, and Pluto's been transiting Capricorn for the last like 10 years. And most people in their lives will like never experience a Pluto conjunct any of their planets, because Pluto, it takes like 200 and some odd years to get fully around. So like America, the United States, is having its Pluto return this upcoming year or next year, something like that. It's literally like that's how long it's taken from the time that America was born.
Yeah.
Pluto is finally coming back around. But because I have all the planets in Capricorn, which is called a stellium. If you have like 3 or more planets in one sign, it's called a stellium. And I have like 5 planets in in the one sign. And so Pluto is like, and it's kind of related to Greek mythology as well. So Pluto is like the destruction and kind of rebirth of everything. So it literally hit like my Uranus, my Venus, my Mars, and I think right now it's about to be hitting my Mercury and Venus. So I think the ones that it hit before was something else. I can't remember. But basically, every time that's happened, which literally has been like every couple of years, something crazy and dramatic has happened. Like when Pluto hit Uranus, Uranus is like the unexpected. Oh, it was Mars. So when Pluto hit my Mars, Mars is like action and like initiative and like feeling like you can really, conquer things and like take on the world. And then Pluto comes around and it basically like shits on that. So that was like me around the time I was going to college, and I was like, yeah, I got this. Like I can figure shit out. And then it just shit on me and like ruined it. And Mars and Uranus. It's hard to not say Uranus.
Well, yeah.
I love Uranus.
I love Uranus too. Don't worry.
So, when it hit Mars, it then like subsequently pretty quickly hit Uranus, and Uranus is like the unexpected. So that's when, like shit really hit the fan and my life kind of took a different direction, was because Pluto was like, I don't like you going to college. I don't like you doing this. Like, I'm going to shake shit up. And so, yeah.
What I'm wondering is, was there an event that, like, what is it that causes you to have so much faith in these systems?
Just probably the fact that
it's just so accurate.
It is honestly like scarily accurate. But also it just makes more sense to me. Like, people have faith in so many things that don't make sense.
No, I know. And I'm just wondering, why is this something that makes sense to you?
Because, the planets and the solar system, that is factually something that was here before humans. And it kind of goes along with, like, the idea of a higher power, but it's not like, one guy being like, boop. Yeah. It's more like, the universe has designed this system to create life in these specific ways and like with these specific traits. And one of the things that actually made like the most sense to me about like your birth chart in particular is that your soul or whatever chooses your time of birth. It chooses like when it wants to come into the planet, because it has shit to do and shit to learn and like wants to address whatever it is in this lifetime. So that's why your birth chart is set up the way that it is, so that you are forced to like work through these issues that your soul is like, I haven't really figured this shit out yet. So I'm gonna go in and try to learn, how to do this time around. And you can actually look, and there are people that do these types of readings where they can tell like what your past lives were based on your birth chart as well. So it's kind of like, and this was another thing this goes back to, because earlier I was like, you asked me a question and I got off track, which happens.
It's okay.
But you said, is there only like 9 planets in the birth chart? And there are 9 planets, but there's also other things.
Sure.
One of which, or 2 of which technically, is the north and south node. And those are, they're called the karmic like nodes. So basically that part of it is like what your karma is in this lifetime, like where your north node is and where your south node is like, one of them is like your past life, like what you need to change and learn and grow from, and the other one is like what you aspire and attain to. And that goes along with generally your rising sign. So that's where the sun was on the horizon when you were born. And that is your rising sign, is like the traits that you aspire to be perceived to have. So like my rising is Leo, and so like I aspire to seem to have like some air of confidence or like self-assuredness, and that's something that I like don't fucking have. So it's something that I like need to work on, essentially, is to be more like confident and self-assured. And
so you think that it's in you, but you just haven't like reached the potential, basically?
Yeah. It's definitely like a striving to reach the potential type of thing. And then there's also like the midhaven, which apparently tells you like what career you're supposed to have, or like your career path. And I haven't figured that one out either. I don't even know what like it should be. My midhaven is in Taurus, and I'm like, Taurus is more of like a chill, lazy sign. So I'm like, don't know what the career would be for that necessarily. I need to do more research.
That's okay. So I have a few questions stemming from those, and I don't want to forget them, so I'm going to say them all right now, but we can answer them one at a time. One of them was, oh, are they okay?
I don't know.
I think they'll be fine.
She's probably not out in the rain.
I think she was in the rain.
Oh, really?
Because I saw her come up here and shake off, and then she went back down. But I don't want to forget. So one of them was, how do you use astrology and this sort of, I guess, what do you call it? Not religion, but your belief? No. How do you call this, I guess?
That's another thing, like,
I wouldn't say it's a religion, but it's your spiritual guidance. I don't know.
Basically, like, it all falls under the realm of like being spiritual, I suppose. People ask me all the time. They're like, "Well, are you Wiccan?" And I'm like, "No, not really."
What is Wiccan?
Wiccan is like pagan. That's like the traditional like witch religion. But I don't celebrate. Like, I mean, I do celebrate the witchy. She is all wet. The witchy, like, it's called the Wheel of the Year, which is basically like every
moon cycle, maybe. I don't know.
It's more like every season. So there's like the one that just happened in February was and part of the reason I don't celebrate them is because I have a hard time pronouncing them.
Oh.
No. The one that just happened in February is called Imbolc, Imboloc, or something. And it's basically like just kind of a seasonal celebration. Obviously, like the equinoxes fall on those as well. And they all have like their traditional names.
So those are all basically like dependent on the aligning of the planets. That's kind of all they're really based on.
Right. Yeah, it's seasonal, so it's like generally always around the same time, like the same week. It's kind of like Easter, where it will like it falls in there somewhere. Like I think the Imbolc fell on the full moon at the beginning of February. So that's like, you know, traditional Wiccans or pagans will like full on, you know, celebrate each of those things. And I mean, it's usually like a feast or like, you know, something. It's not like anything crazy.
Just a holiday, yeah.
But I need to learn more about those as well. I have a book called The Wheel of the Year, unless I let someone borrow it. I don't remember. But it's a lot of like more historical, like witches of the past kind of. explaining like this is the time of year of, the harvest and whatever. It's interesting, but I'm more, I don't know, maybe I'm
So
just
this was
more
another
focused
question.
on like the future.
Well, this was another question I have is like whatever you are studying and or believing in, is it pretty like is it like I guess Christianity in that everybody kind of has their own idea of what it is, or is it pretty? Is there some strict things about it? Like obviously the aligning of the planets, you can't change that.
I mean, it's
kind of
really not strict, and that's why it's kind of like just spiritualism, where you can kind of just pick and choose what resonates with you, and like for me, it's astrology and tarot and crystals and that type of thing. But again, other people take it more hardcore and do like the full pagan thing. There is also this group that Nicole is a part of, and I'm considering going to their school to learn more as well. But that one is called the Mystery School. And essentially it just teaches you like a bunch of energetic healing type things. Like the first class that they have that I was thinking about going to is called Empower Thyself, and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool, like I want to empower myself. But that one also sounds like more strict, and I'm like not a huge fan of things being strict, so I don't know. That's why I probably like resonate with it more and gravitate towards it more, is because I can do my own thing with it, and I don't have to like. There's no rules really.
Are there other people like that you're friends with that are like in the same boat as you, where it's kind of like their own freeform kind of thing, but maybe you like connect with some things but not other things?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like everyone that kind of like identifies as a witch or whatever has their own, thing that they cling on more to. And there's even like different types of witches. There's like the kitchen witch, which is a witch who like
does cooking with and she maybe puts spells in her cooking,
or there's like
candles, or
there's
scent.
like a forest witch that like goes out and does things in the forest. So like I don't know, I feel like I'm like an eclectic witch, like I do a little bit of everything.
Fair. Or maybe you just haven't found your one thing yet.
Yeah. I like kitchen witchery a lot. It's fun, but I'm also like afraid. I'm like, what if I make something and put a spell in it, and then someone eats it, and then I don't know.
Maybe the unintended spell. Yes.
No, and that's the thing, honestly, that like a lot of people say. They're like, oh, I'm afraid of like doing something wrong, but you really can't do anything wrong as long as your like intentions are good. Like if you're putting good energy into it, then everything will be fine.
That's fair. And how do you use this in your daily life, like currently? You yourself.
Yeah. So I go through phases where like sometimes I feel more connected and sometimes I feel more like disconnected, which I feel like has been more so lately because I just have so much other stuff going on that I'm like unable to take the time to like do the things that I'm interested in doing. I know, you're so sad that you're outside, but I brought you here to have fun. Um, so for me, like a lot of what I use on a regular basis, and this is more so like especially when I was working at the bar and stuff, is like a lot of energetic clearing, like because there was so much shitty negative energy in the place that I worked. So I would literally like on my drive home be like, get off of me. And then like protection kind of spells for like when I was working and I like, wanted to feel more like secure and protected from like other energy bothering me or whatever. Um, so it's a little bit of that type of thing. More so like lately, I am just using it more as like continued education and like self-discovery type stuff. Um, because I don't really feel the need to do like a lot of, protecting or clearing or anything because I'm in a healthier environment. But it is something that I still do, periodically. Like I'll clear my house, and I actually, when I went to Austin from Nicole, I got these like protection satchel pouch things that I like buried outside of the house to protect the house. So that was pretty cool. Except for the like landscaping guy, I think dug one of them up.
Oh,
and
no.
because I went out there and I didn't see it anymore, and I was like, So I think she's sending me another one, but so stuff like that. And honestly, I feel like I probably need to do more like, self love spells or like self empowerment spells, just because shit's been shitty.
Yeah, I understand. Speaking of which, good segue into what was it I don't know if you still do, but you used to read a lot of self-help books. And I'm wondering, is there a book that you recommend the most that you've ever read? And from that book or from anything, what are things that help you with your own self-help? Maybe, of course, I'm sure the magic helps, and I know she's adorable.
She's crying. Do you think they're cold?
No, they're not shaken.
Alright. So, I haven't read any help books in a while, but I used to read them a lot. And I still actually, like, I have some that I bought with the intention of reading, but then put on the shelves and, like, haven't pulled out because I'm a jackass. Shush. I'll deaf you. No. But one that stands out in particular is related to like healing from narcissistic abuse, and that book was called Will I Ever Be Good Enough? And it's specifically for like daughters of narcissistic mothers, and that one I feel like affected me the most and stuck with me the most, just because it was the first thing that I read that I was really like, oh shit, I feel seen. But there have been other ones that have like definitely had, good advice. Another one was like an audio book that I listened to, and I don't practice it as much as I should. But at the time when I listened to it and I, was like, oh shit, like this could really change my life. But then I got just lazy. But that one was, and I'm sure you've probably heard about it, but the 5-second Rule by Mel Robbins. You're gonna laugh when you hear what the premise is, because you're gonna be like, yeah, you didn't facilitate that in your life whatsoever. But basically it's about like not procrastinating and literally like when you think of something, counting down from 5 and then getting up and doing it.
Okay, so you've read that and you think it's a good idea, but it's difficult for you to implement still.
Yes.
Why do you think it's difficult for you to implement?
Because I'm lazy.
But What I don't get, because I'm not a lazy person.
I know, you're a fucking Virgo, that's why.
Okay, maybe that's your reasoning, but do you think that you're a Aquarius, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that is every Aquarius that you know lazy as well?
No, and so that's the thing, and this is like a whole entire another topic, but you can't really judge people based solely on their sun signs.
Mm.
Sun sign astrology is
The most popular.
the most
probably.
popular and the most well known, and that's like where horoscopes and everything like that comes from. But there's a lot of other factors that contribute to like why people are the way that they are. I haven't figured out why the fuck I'm lazy, because I have 5 planets in Capricorn, and Capricorn is an earth sign, and earth signs, like Virgos, are generally very productive and organized.
Well, I think you are when you are focused.
Right, when I put my mind to
Yeah, you are very organized and you get shit done. Like if you have a deadline, maybe.
Yeah. But Aquarius are air signs, which are more like kind of flighty and like think a lot about stuff and talk a lot about stuff, but aren't necessarily like doers. So the most common thing that I've seen from like other Aquariuses that I like have in common with is that we're all like night owls, or like when we're most productive at night, or like when we're at a deadline, or like like
at the off hours. It's when you're thinking during the time when you should be working, and you're working during the time that you should be thinking.
Pretty much something like that. I don't know. I'm sure they're like, and maybe that's what the whole like Taurus midhaven thing is, because I feel like Taurus is a more like lazy, chill earth sign. So I'm like, maybe that's just my like demise, is that my career path, like I'm just too lazy to achieve. I don't know.
I think you're on a good path right now.
Yeah.
I think you're doing things right. You're getting things done, and you're, of course, like, I think, especially with getting into your permanent makeup, I feel like ever since that's happened.
It's getting better, I feel like, for sure. I just have moments, and I think a lot of it is like mental health and depression and shit. It's like you don't feel like doing anything.
Do you think that there will ever be a day where you don't feel that depression or anxiety that you feel?
I mean, I have days like all the time
where you feel
good. Yeah. It's just inconsistent, and that's kind of almost what makes it harder, is because you'll be like having a great week, and then one shitty thing happens or whatever, and you're having a bad time.
Yeah, just one little thing can make the day. It happens to me too, all the time. Definitely, I feel like I'm feeling good for most of the day, and then just like something will happen, or it'll rub you the wrong way or something, and then you just like can't get it off your mind, and then it just almost just like controls like the feeling that you have. I don't know how to really explain it, but it's just a feeling thing.
Also, like, I mean, I don't know, being a chick, it's like a lot of our fucking emotions and stuff is so like hormonal. So I'll like be doing great and like think I'm fine, and then I'll crash for no reason, and then Mark will be like, well, it's because you're like gonna start your period soon or something.
By crash, you mean fall asleep, or mean like
no,
you'll
like,
go on a low?
Go like emotional low, or depression or whatever, and I'll be like, I don't know what's wrong with me, and he'll be like, well, which I'm like, that's insulting, because I'm just a normal person, but we are like controlled by our hormones, unfortunately.
You mean
women?
And you don't think guys are?
I mean, probably to an extent, but it's just a little different. Like, I don't know. I definitely know that like Mark has moods and lows, and it probably is hormonal as well. Like, if y'all's testosterone gets low or something, you get all depressed. Because he was more like happy, peppy, busy, like, productive when he was doing steroids and his testosterone was like really high. He was like, I can do all the things and have time to have sex.
Yes.
But
how important do you think sex life is in keeping your depression and that kind of stuff?
Honestly, like, I don't know. It's hard because like when you're depressed, you feel shitty about yourself and you like don't feel like, attractive or cute or whatever. So that's like hard, and also like having a partner that has depression, it's like we go through times where like one of us is depressed and the other one isn't, but like we're not on the same kind of schedule, wavelength. Yeah.
Sometimes it's
which is
off.
good, because if we were both depressed at the same time, it'd be fucking dangerous. and it's only happened a couple of times, and like thankfully we've both
been able to like figure it out at the moment.
But honestly, what I feel like is more important is just like talking about your feelings with your partner, having like open, honest communication, and then like something that I've learned over like 10 years of being in a relationship with someone is that like intimacy isn't always just sex. Like we hold hands, we cuddle, we like take showers together, we like do all these other things that remind us that we're close and that we love each other. And sex is great and all, but it's not like
it's not everything. No,
the most important thing.
Sure. And I guess, so have you ever heard of, there's like 5 like feelings of love, or 5, like there's gift giving, touch.
Yes, I actually, so
how do you figure that out? Please explain that to me, because I still don't.
I'll give you the book. I got the book. I actually read it on our honeymoon flight, and it's called the 5 love languages.
That love languages.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes. And so how it works is essentially you have to figure out like your love language so that you can explain that to a partner, like this is how I feel loved, and then you figure out their love language so that you can like properly show love to each other. For me, I feel like I'm like any of it. I'll take it all. I don't care. Like,
you just love. Like,
yes. For Mark, definitely his like I feel like is quality time, and also like affirmations of love. Like he likes to be told I love you, and what else is there? Yeah, there's gift giving. I like that one.
He likes being shown.
Yeah.
So I'm like, So what are the 5?
Oh,
do you remember?
We might have to Google it, but
that's okay.
Gift giving, affirmations, quality time, touch.
Yeah, I think touch is one.
And let's see. Brief intermission.
What does affirmations mean?
Like like telling someone that you love them, like using your words.
Oh, just words mainly. Okay.
Yeah. Here, let's see. 5 love languages.
Be saying poems or singing or stuff like that. Trying to think of what else. Are those based off of any astrological things, or is that just a human nature kind of thing?
I think it is like a sociology, psychology type thing.
something that we just
Why
all
isn't it?
feel, basically.
Yeah, why isn't it? It's just telling me like where to buy the book.
Just put in like 5 love languages.
That's what I did.
Oh.
What are the 5 love languages? Um, how to express heartfelt commitment to your mate. Let's see. Affirmation, acts of service.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, doing something.
Where did it go?
Usually, would you say that those love languages...
Quality time and physical touch. Yeah.
Does it apply more to, like, your overall happiness and well-being, or is it apply to just your feeling that you have with your partner?
I think
or a little both.
Both, yeah, because honestly, like, I get more depressed or feel more shitty when I feel like Mark doesn't love me, which I know he does.
No,
but then
I understand.
If I'm not, being told I love you or
Yeah.
being, like
Shown.
or like
Yeah.
we're not spending quality time together,
Yeah.
we're not like
It's
hugging
not
or
gonna
kissing.
It's not gonna be 100% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could think that he's mad at you for something, and you
Yeah.
don't even, and maybe he's even not. He just
Right.
is going through his own shit.
And a lot of that like comes, from past trauma and stuff where
Oh, I feel it too.
you think like nobody loves you or whatever. Like literally, I'm sure you've heard this story like a million times, but one time when I was like super drunk, it was Mark's birthday, like his first birthday that we were together, and I got super drunk and I was like yelling at him like, "You don't love me." And our friends were in the back seat, and one of our friends was like, "That's when I knew you guys would be together forever," because of how he all dealt with that. Like Mark was just like, "It's okay, dear. I love you."
That's funny.
Yeah, and we had only been together like 6 months, but clearly I was just having a moment. But I still feel like, those thoughts like creep in there.
Do you think that the love languages apply like only to your like partner, or do they apply to other people? Do they apply
I need to switch the laundry really quick?
Oh, yeah, probably. Let's pause it. Here we go. Okay, we're back.
Sorry.
It's okay. Don't be sorry. The next topic will be about dogs and pets.
Oh.
So.
Dogs and pets.
I want to know.
It's my dog's birthday.
It is your dog's birthday, for sure. I want to know when and why was it that you switched from cats to dogs?
I didn't switch. I have both.
No, but you used to be, maybe it was Mark or something. You were an exclusive cat person for a long time.
I do love cats. Cats have a special place in my heart. But they're also assholes.
Yeah, I agree.
And not super cuddly and friendly. I mean, Yayo, I don't know. I guess I just raised him to be like the way that he is.
Well, I remember Yayo when he was younger, and he was the spawn of Satan, I feel like.
I feel like he's pretty cuddly now, though. I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's definitely gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't even like touch him.
Yeah,
like,
but he like he would spend time with me. I think he just didn't like anybody else.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because when he was a kitten, he would like sleep across my neck.
Oh yeah, you've told me that.
Yeah.
But I wonder.
And like lick my tears. He still tries to do that.
Oh, adorable.
Which is adorable, but obnoxious when their tongue feels like freaking sandpaper.
Yeah, it does.
I'm like, thanks. I didn't need an exfoliating facial today.
I wonder, what do you think of the relationship between a dog and its owner, or an animal and its owner?
Well, and that's primarily the difference between cats and dogs. Is cats are like more independent. They're like, I can do this without you. It's nice that you're here, but like I don't really care. And then dogs are like, I need your love, I need your attention, I need you to feed me, I need you to take me out, I need to be on your lap, I need to like do all these things. And so it's a more codependent relationship, and I don't know. I feel like I was looking for that codependent relationship in a cat,
Mm-hmm.
and then I realized that it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend and I, actually one of my friends from South Korea, have this sort of debate going on. That's a little open-ended, but we were wondering, do you think, I guess very broadly, do you think that dogs have thoughts and think?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I think that they do. I think that they're
but that aren't driven by just instinct.
Oh, I was gonna say I think that their thoughts are very basic.
Yeah.
But it's been proven that dogs like feel love or show love. Like they've done studies on like their like endorphin levels when they see their owner. And actually there was a study in which a person like was mean to a cat or dog's owner, and then that person tried to give the cat or dog a treat, and the cat didn't care. The cat was just like, I don't care, you're giving me a treat. But the dog was like, I don't trust you because you were just mean to my owner. So they definitely have like more complex thoughts than cats.
Yeah. So you think dogs have more complex than cats?
Or maybe just more like...
Just different?
Yeah, more loyalty.
Well, I've heard that also is when they've done the study of when the owners of the cat die versus the owner of the dog. The dog will like stand by the owner even when it's dead, and it won't move.
And cats will like eat their flesh.
Yeah, literally, yeah, exactly.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
I was always, when I lived by myself and just had the cats, I was always terrified that
they would just
eat my flesh when I died, and no one would know that I was gone.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. But I just wonder if you think that the love and affection that the dogs are giving you, do you think it's because they know that you are feeding them and that you are giving them like do they love in the same way that we love, I'm going to love you whether or not you pet me or do anything.
Well, Sue acts like he won't love you unless you pet him.
Well, yeah.
Because
but that feels good for the dog.
Yeah. They do, and I know this because when we took Lola to get her trained, the praise that you give your dog, like even just saying like "good girl," that is enough of a reward. It's the same as a treat. So like you can go through training, giving them a little treat every time they do something good. But our trainer taught us, like, even if you just say, like, good girl, and, like, are really enthusiastic about it, like, that's enough of a reward for them to be like, I'm a good girl. I did good things.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely, they respond to positive reinforcement. Okay, here. Well, this will tie everything together. Okay. So let's talk about this summer. So this summer,
like 2020 summer.
2020 summer, I was, because of like COVID and quarantine and whatever, I was like, I'm just gonna eat a bunch of edibles all the time because I have nothing else to do. So we went camping, and we were floating the river, Barton to Carver, and all of my like edibles had like melted together, so I just like scooped it out and ate it. And I went on a spiritual journey.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
So when I went on said spiritual journey, first of all, one of the things that happened was like I was super triggered by something that Keisha had done. She like reminded me of Mom, and like what had happened was she like didn't trust me to be able to swim to save her dogs if her dogs like fell off of the raft or whatever.
Because you were like
because we were just because she didn't trust me like in general. I don't even think she knew that I had eaten any edibles. But she was like wanting to like tie the dogs down and like freaking out about it. And I was like, dude, like I can swim really well. Like I grew up on the river. I can fucking swim.
Yeah.
And she was just like, no, I don't trust you, blah, blah, blah. And it just made me feel like how mom, never really thought that we could do things that we like said that we could do, or like she always, like talked down to us or whatever. So that was like a moment. And then later, like further down this
the
river trip, mind trip.
So you were thinking that on the river?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I had like a
because
full.
She was.
Yeah, I had like a full on like blow up at her and like jumped off the
raft.
The raft and just like
swam away in your own little.
Yeah, with my phone and my vape in my bra, like in my swim top.
Yeah.
But then at one point I swear, like mentally communicating with the dogs. And her little Pomeranian was on my lap, and she was literally like, my mom is so anxious, and like she makes me anxious, and like I can't calm down because she never calms down. And I was having like this communicative interaction with these dogs. And it was funny because once that like happened and I had that interaction with Elvira, then like all the other dogs started like trying to get over to my floaty. Like somehow they were like, oh shit, she can hear us. And they all wanted to talk to me. Like this is what's happening and like what's going through our mind. So I literally had like a one-on-one little like brain conversation with all of the dogs. Literally. And like Robbie and Ashley's dog Harley, she's like a bigger pit bull, kind of like Lola, and she was like, they never tell me that I do a good job. Like they only ever scold me and like tell me no. Like they never tell me that I am a good girl. And I'm literally like relaying this to them. Robbie and Ashley, like, you need to give Harley more positive reinforcement. So I was a dog psychic for a while there. Fair. But honestly, I feel like it kind of worked. Like now, like they started making an effort to like tell Harley that she's a good girl, and I feel like she's like happier. And now every time I like go over to their house and see their dogs, they're like, oh, hi, you're here. Do we have anything else?
I feel like you always have been like specially connected with animals in some way.
Yeah. Like
whether it was just cats or dogs or anything, honestly, like you've always had a special energy around them, I feel like. And you've always just not like idolized them, but connected with them. And I think even that has resonated onto me because I can feel sometimes the dog's energy and and even cat's energy, and like there aren't many dogs or cats that I don't get along with. Yeah. And I don't know.
I feel like that too. And it was weird because when I went to Liz's the other day, her little dog would not stop barking at me. And he did not like me.
It always throws me off when a dog will do that too. My friend Gavin's dog does the same thing.
I'm like, what is your problem, man? I'm a dog person. Why are you like that?
Exactly. Exactly. But, so what kind of dog do they have?
It's like a Chihuahua.
Chihuahua.
It's
That's
always
exactly.
fucking Chihuahuas.
Maybe they can see our mothers.
Oh God. Maybe
they can see their ancestors. They can see their ancestors through us.
They're like, your mom killed one of us. Fuck. Backstory. Our mom used to have Chihuahuas, and somehow they've all passed away.
They've all passed away somehow. We don't really know, but we do. But
yeah, that's weird.
That is weird. That's funny.
They're like, you come from Chihuahua killers.
Yeah, literally. That's how I feel. Like the dog gives me that energy. It's just like I've gone over to Gavin's a million times, and every single time Finn will just like do that to me, and just I feel like I'm being like banished from the house by the dog, and it's weird. And
that is weird.
And he doesn't do that to other people, like Gavin's girlfriend, who obviously he's only known for like a year.
Yeah, Liz kept telling me, she was like, he'll calm down. But even like she had me give him a piece of salami and it didn't even work.
It's
weird.
It is weird.
Some biased dogs. I never thought about that fact.
I honestly didn't either until just right now, but
fucking
I think that's hilarious.
Tio and Nacho are like, stay away.
The souls have followed us.
They're haunting us.
All right. Well, let's
end that on a weird note.
Yeah. I have one final question.
One final question.
But it's gonna probably take a bit for you to answer. It's the most important question.
Oh.
Probably in the history of questions.
Oh shit.
Ever.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What is the meaning of life?
What is the meaning of life? Nobody knows the answer of that question.
Well, what is it to you?
Honestly, to me, and like, you know, this goes back to the astrology topic, and then like another, you know, kind of thing about the spiritualism and Wiccan and pagan and whatnot that I didn't address is that like Mark and we basically, you know, kind of worship or whatever just the earth, like Mother Earth and the land, and like, you know, want to protect it and want to like thank it for, you know, providing for us and all of that kind of stuff. Like that's pretty much our like religion, is basically just, you know, respecting our planet, respecting like those that came before us, and, you know, protecting the planet for future generations. That being said, I think that all of our souls are on said planet to what is the word I'm looking for? To achieve some mission or like lesson. And that's, you know, how and why people have like past lives, is because like every time your soul like regenerates into a body, it is to finish their like unfinished business and to learn something new and to like resolve past issues. And I think, you know, some people can have, you know, so many past lives and never necessarily like finish their mission, and then some people, you know, they like evolve and change and learn and finish their mission, and then their soul is able to like rest or whatever. And there's also evidence of this in like something that's called like a life path number. And you can look it up, and you can even like do the math of it yourself. I think I've already done yours. I think your life path like 8 or something. And so your life path number is basically like something that determines like what your journey is in this lifetime. And it's based, again,
so it's like based on the amount of past lives you've had.
Not necessarily. No. It's just it's like this path of this lifetime, and it's based on your birth date, and it's like with numerology. So basically, you like count the number of like in your birth chart, like, or in your birth date. Like yours would be 9, 18. And then 1 plus 8 is 9, and then 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 9 is 19, plus 7 is 26, and then 2 plus 6 is 7.
8.
Or 8. Sorry. See, I'm bad at math. And then 9 plus 9 plus is 18, plus 8 is 24, and then 2 plus 4. So maybe it's 6.
Or 26, sorry. 2 plus 6.
Oh, so 2 plus 6, and then it's 8. See? I knew it.
Yeah.
You messed me up.
Sorry. Okay, so you add up all those. Okay.
Yeah, so you add up all the numbers, and like until you get to a single number. And then that's your life path number. And 8, and this made sense more like a couple of years ago, I think, when I figured it out for you. I was like, oh, 8 is kind of the life path number of like monetary wealth. So I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. He's just going to be like very successful in business and, you know, have monetary like wealth, and like that's your goal for this lifetime is to just be a successful like business person or whatever. Mark's life path is 7, and that one is more of like a spiritual awakening life path where you kind of figure out like what, you know, the meaning of life is, or what your like connection to spirit or the universe or whatever is. And then mine is 9, which is like a finishing up of your spiritual lessons and learning, and essentially, hopefully, the last life that I will have to live before I get to just go like be an alien or a spirit guide for somebody else or something like that. So that's where my crazy like meaning of life is just reliving and learning the same lessons until you figure it the fuck out and are able to like evolve past your soul's like issues and trauma and like move on and be at peace, basically. Do you think I'm crazy?
No. I think you just think differently. That's okay.
What is you?
Not differently than me, differently than most people.
I do. And that's an Aquarius thing. We're unique. We're rebellious. We're free thinkers. So, you're right. I'm different.
Most Aquariuses I know are like that, I would say.
Little on the kooky side.
A little artsy, a little kooky.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, I like being like that.
That's okay. Anything else you would like to say?
Nothing. Just that I'm very proud of you. You're a very lovely person, human, young man. And I'm glad that we have such a good friendship, because I know I was a dick to you kind of growing up. Like every time you bring up something that I don't remember, I'm like, oh God, I was so mean.
There was a lot going on when we were children, so I understand. I'm not mad at you.
I'm glad.
I'm just happy that we're where we're at now.
Yeah, me too.
So that's good. So if you want to get your eyebrows done.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about any of that.
That's okay. We'll save it for another time. Bewitched Brows, PMU?
Yeah. Underscore PMU. BYOmagic. Be your own magic. Oh, are you gonna put it right here?
Oh yeah, it's going right
here.
Nice. Right here, and above my hand, it will.
Wife Witch. My personal account. Cause I'm the Wife Witch. Wife Life. Death before dishwater, bitches. I thought you were gonna ask me what the meaning behind that was.
Oh no, I know the meaning behind that. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.